morning. We're going to get started this morning. I'm going to ask Commissioner Lotson to lead us in the invocation and Commissioner Gerald with the pledge. If everyone will please stand.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for all things. We pray, Lord God, that you continue to watch over this county and over this country, Lord God. Bless this board, Lord God. Help us make wise decisions that will benefit those that live in McIntosh County and our visitors. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll officially call our meeting to order and roll call. All commissioners are accounted for, leaving us to item of the approval of the agenda before us.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda before us.
With an edit.
With an edit.
We're going to add an additional public hearing not posted on this agenda that we've been running in the paper is the extension of the moratorium. So that will be added under public hearings today.
Making the motion to approve with the addition.
Okay. Motion to approve by Commissioner Poole. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lotson. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, there are two sets of minutes for approval, the April 14th regular meeting and the April 24th special called meeting. We can do these individually or as a group. We'll call for action.
Make a motion to approve both sets of minutes.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald to approve both sets of minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lotson. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item F is visitor presentations. We have Trevor Tatum regarding the speed bumps at Cedar Street parallel to Sapelo Island. Good morning.
Good morning. First of all, I want to say thank you, Mr. John, for allowing us to get on the agenda today. Mr. Anderson, I think you need to be commended for all the phone calls and texts.
Oh, that's get rough sometimes.
Well, you've been very professional in talking with us with our concern. And our concern is the speed bumps that were placed on Sapelo Avenue. Understand that there were some issues over there, and that's something that they petitioned to have done. Well, since that's been done, now it's diverted that traffic to Cedar Street. And it's bad. Different times of the day is worse than others, but it's the excessive traffic and the speeder traffic. I've been coming down here for about 30 years. My grandparents built the place. My kids have grown up down here, and it's always been a safe, quiet community. Our kids could get out and ride their bikes right down to the dock. We can't do that. The reason why we're here today is to ask if y'all would consider, we don't necessarily want speed bumps on our street because they're bad on Sapelo, but we've got to slow the traffic down before somebody gets hurt or killed.
Understand. That was the reason why it was put on Sapelo.
We've got a lot of retirees, so we've got some older men and women that like to get out and walk their dogs early in the morning, late at night, but we've got to do something to slow the traffic down. Mr. Anderson, appreciate what you did with getting the sheriff to bring out the speed detection or show the speed. That didn't help any.
Short term.
Short term. Whether it's getting some deputies out there and start writing some tickets, maybe we'll slow it down. But we would like to see something happen. And we know if we get speed bumps on Cedar Street, then it's just going to divert them to River Street.
Right.
And we hate that for the folks on River Street, and maybe it's Cedar and River where we have to, but they're coming down Cedar and then cutting across back over to Sapelo.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Is there an appropriate place, if we do consider doing this, a better place than others for the position of the speed bump? I mean, you don't want to get it right out of the gate, and then they have time to speed. It's a very short road to start with.
That is correct. You know, and on Cedar Street, out towards the end of the street, there's an oak tree that sits almost in the middle of the street. I mean, you have to drive around the street. That tree don't even slow them down. The residents right there, they say they fly by their house. I'm about halfway between one of the stop signs and the oak tree. Some nights, no, granted at night, you know, we're not out, unless you're out walking your dog. But I've been sitting in my recliner and it's a flash whenever the cars come by. You can't even tell what kind of vehicle it is. So I don't have an answer for that, but I think it's going to take a couple between, what's the cut through, Norman Avenue?
Norman, yeah.
It's going to take a couple between Norman and White Bluff. And even beyond Norman, because they're going past Norman, they're going through the four-way stop at Norman and then cutting through one of the easements, which is not paved. There's two dirt easements, and some of the traffic is cutting through there. And it's causing some of the traffic. Mr. Dale Schumann, he's at the corner of Norman and Cedar, and they're cutting the corner and getting in his yard. They keep encroaching more and more and more, and they're going to wind up getting a fire hydrant there too. But all this started after the placement of the speed bumps on Sapelo.
Well, we will roundtable maybe multiple departments through the county administration, maybe the road department and the sheriff's office, and we'll work on a solution, a remedy.
Can one other thing be mentioned? I'm also a resident over there.
Yes, sir.
Wouldn't it be cheaper just to remove the speed bumps off of Sapelo Avenue? I mean, they didn't work because everything got moved over to Cedar Street. So, and we would get considered the same.
I was not included on the original conversations if you're asking me personally to respond to that, but I will tell you that some other commissioners were involved, and the chief issue is speed. So residents came forward, asked for the speed bumps to be placed to begin with. We didn't just randomly go select that street to place them. And obviously, as you're attesting to, the speed is there. It's just now moved from the chief complaint to the next one over. So it has to be addressed ultimately at the end of the day in some form or fashion. So that's why I say it's not solely my discrepancy to do that. So we would have to call all parties, all departments to the table, and let's have discussion over the matter. I do understand that since they have been placed, I've been privy to multiple conversations and communication pieces. I do know that there are certain residents that wish they were not there.
As long as we get the same consideration that they did, that would
Yes, sir.
suit us. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So do you think that the tabletop speed bumps would be a better deterrent than the small speed bump?
When you say tabletop,
It's a wider type
Grid,
They call it a speed
speed
table.
bump.
Speed tables are what they
I
call
think
it.
it would help, and, you know, we were discussing in Sapelo Gardens, and we're not sure if Sapelo Gardens is private or if it's county maintained.
This county.
It's county maintained. The speed bumps that were put in there, they're not as
Aggressive.
aggressive,
They're just a shorter bump.
but I think they're effective after talking to some of the residents in there. But I think that would help tremendously. But I do
Those
think
were prefab.
that's correct.
If I'm not mistaken, they were prefab.
But they are attention getters. But I do feel like if y'all do decide or agree to do something on Cedar, you're going to have to do it on River Street. Now, Boundary and the other streets, I don't think you're going to have the problem because people are not going to go down the dirt roads. Those are the only two paved streets left is Cedar and River.
And Kate, I would recommend that if you have it at round table, that it has to be more global. The issue that's being raised in Cedar Point, and Chapel, and those other streets have been raised in numerous other communities in the county. And in the past, we've been a little hesitant to put speed bumps because we perceive that that would be the issue, that the issue would just move to another street. And while there are some who love the speed bump because it slows it down, then you have others that complain that people will go around them onto private property and mess up my car. So all those things need to be part of a more lengthy discussion.
May I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Melissa Priest. I drive down Sapelo Avenue almost every day.
Yes, ma'am.
I used to ride my bike down Sapelo Avenue until they put speed humps on there. They put 4 speed humps in addition to a stop sign that was already there in a less than quarter of a mile stretch. Those speed bumps are so steep that passenger cars that are relatively low, normal passenger economy cars, bottom out. You can't ride a bicycle over them. I do not argue against slowing the traffic down. I totally understand that. I come from a neighborhood where, that can be a problem. But those speed humps were a poor design and choice. They don't make any sense. They don't alleviate the problem. It just moved it, like you said. The speed limit is 25 on that street. It seems reasonable that maybe one of the first steps would have been to lower the speed limit and then do something in the way of enforcement. The sign that was referenced, the digital sign, I could be wrong about this, and I certainly stand to be corrected, but that sign was there for less than half a day. I don't know why that sign wasn't put there for a period of time before this process was even started, so that they could accurately have data about what the speed was, what the speed limit should have been. As far as residents requesting this, I absolutely respect that. But the other residents and businesses were not contacted. Their opinion, their input was not sought. Just one day, 4 new speed humps appeared. It affects businesses. There are 3 businesses at the very end of that street. Well, there's actually more than that. No one contacted them. There are trucks, and I get it. Having a semi-truck go down that road, that's not something everybody wants, but that's been going on for many, many years. And I don't think those trucks are the ones that are the speeding. I've seen the speeding cars, I get it. I understand that. But if you're going to address it, then address it right. Don't just arbitrarily, knee-jerk, decide to appease 2 or 3 residents that came to you and said, we want this. Because that's what happened. And then all you did was put a poor design. You affected the ability to enjoy the street in a pedestrian and a bicycling manner. And you just transferred the problem to another street. I know exactly what he's talking on Cedar Street, because there's a point where you cannot have 2 cars pass. So now you've diverted traffic to a street where someone's got to pull over to let the other car pass. And I actually had I heard a resident say, oh, well, those big trucks need to go a different way. Well, you tell me which way those trucks are supposed to go to get to the businesses at the end of the street. It's not possible. So like it or not, the entire time you've lived on Sapelo Avenue, it is a major thoroughfare. And I'm sorry about that, but it is. So having something that is reasonable and put there that can do the job, but not be more of a problem, should have been the thought in the process. And as far as you as council, I sent an email on March 3rd to every single one of you, and I got 0 response, which I find extremely disappointing. And I could have called back and could have kept going, oh, you didn't respond. And I get it, you get a lot of emails, but a common courtesy as a public servant would be to respond to an email and say, we got this, we're looking into it. Every single one of you got my email, and I got 0 response. So that's all I have to say.
Can I make one more
Yes, sir.
comment on the signage? Mr. Henderson, appreciate changing the speed limit to
Just like
15.
me and you talked about.
But we put forth some effort and hope that, people would abide by that, but they have not. Is it possible on Cedar and River Street to place some no-through traffic, residents only? Or is that not possible because it is a county road?
I believe that we'll have to get with the legal counsel on that one and see where
So
we got
that's just
this
a
on
thought
that.
as well as, no through traffic, residents only. But
I'd just like to follow behind the young lady and Trevor also, and Dennis, is we're at the corner of Cedar and Norman.
Yes, ma'am. Will you just state your name for our clerk?
Ma'am.
Will you state your name for our clerk, please?
Name.
Oh, my name, I'm sorry, Kimberly Tice,
Thank you.
and I'm representing DK and D, who owns the property there, speaking
Yes,
for
ma'am.
deal.
Uh-huh.
And the corner of the property, if they're coming Norman and cutting over onto Cedar to go to the dirt road at the dead end to get toward Fish Docks, that road has become unbearable. It's dirt anyway down there. But the problem we're having on our property is that they're cutting into the yard. Here you have your cable boxes, fire hydrants right here on the other side. They are missing them, not that much, and I'm not exaggerating. We can't even stand in the corner of the yard and take a chance because they're cutting this way. Coming from Dennis's house, back toward this way, toward the river. And like she said, it's one lane barely for a car. You've got the rest of your cable boxes, you've got other electrical boxes down that road, and we've got orange cones here. They're missing it because we're having to go into people's yards because of the cars, the traffic's coming through. And with children, school fixing to get out, the young children in that community are on bicycles constantly. We're at the stop sign. We've done nothing but watch the stop signs, so people are running the stop signs. They're not even hesitating. And these children, they're not going to pay attention that much when school goes out. And we have witnessed it multiple times. And she is correct. This community has a lot of seniors, a lot of walkers, and they're very well through all day long in this community. And if you go down Norman as well, it's basically one car. Two barely can pass each other along the street. So when you go on one street over, the girl through on Norman is going to get hit just as well. And it'll just be in everybody else's front yards trying to avoid vehicles trying to come down. So when you can't have your grandchildren out in your front yards and you're petrified that somebody's going to come up into the yard to go around another car, safety is the main concern as well.
And that's completely what started all of it, so.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Tatum. That concludes our visitor presentations on the agenda before us. That will move us directly into public hearings. We do have two public hearings this morning. The first public hearing that we will address is the ordinance for the temporary limit or the outdoor burn ban due to drought conditions. Go through reading a second reading of that, and then we'll open the floor for any commentary on that. Whereas McIntosh County has experienced prolonged dry weather resulting in drought conditions, and whereas these drought conditions have significantly increased the risk of wildfires and the spread of uncontrolled fires, and whereas open burning of yard debris pose a serious threat to public safety, property, and natural resources during periods of extreme dryness, and whereas McIntosh County desires to take reasonable and necessary measures to reduce fire hazards and protect the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. Now, therefore, it is hereby ordained by the Board of Commissioners of McIntosh County, Georgia, that one, temporary restriction of all open burning of yard debris, including leaves, limbs, grass, and other vegetative matter, is hereby restricted within the unincorporated area of McIntosh County as determined by the McIntosh County Fire Chief and/or County Manager. Prohibited activities. No person shall ignite or allow the burning of yard debris outdoors except as provided in this ordinance. 3 are exemptions. This ordinance shall not apply to 1, controlled burns conducted by government agencies or authorized personnel for forestry or public safety purposes. 2, fires used for cooking in approved grills or fire pits, provided they are attended and comply with applicable safety regulations. And 3, agriculture or forestry burns conducted under a valid permit and in accordance with state law and Georgia Forestry Commission guidelines. Number 4, enforcement. This ordinance shall be enforced by McIntosh County officials and their designated departments, including but not limited to the McIntosh County Volunteer Fire Department and the McIntosh County Code Enforcement Offices. Number 5, violations. Any person who violates any provision of this ordinance or who fails to do anything required by this ordinance shall be amendable to the process of the Magistrate Court of McIntosh County. The maximum punishment for a violation of this ordinance shall be a fine of $1,000 or imprisonment for 60 days, or both as fines and imprisonment. Number 6, additional remedies. In the event any provision of this ordinance has been violated or is being violated, in addition to any other remedies, the county may pursue an injunction or other appropriate action or proceeding to prevent or abate such violation. Number 7, duration. This ordinance shall remain in effect until drought conditions improve and the Board of Commissioners formally rescinds this ordinance. Number 8, prior ordinances and resolutions. The provision of this ordinance shall apply in addition to and shall not repeal any prior ordinance or resolution regarding this same subject. Number 9, public notice. McIntosh County shall provide notice of this ordinance through appropriate public channels, including the county website, social media, and local news outlets. This concludes the second reading of the ordinance. And this will open the door for any comments at this time. We do have to leave this public hearing open for a few more minutes.
While we're waiting, County Manager, would you mind sharing the intent and the purpose behind this?
Yes, originally, we wanted to go ahead and put this ban in, and it was coming in from our ordinance section that had to do with the clean air provisions. This was not strong enough. Then the Forestry Department went ahead and the State Forestry Department went ahead and put a burn ban on 91 counties. We were one of those counties. They've since then rescinded this. This second reading will allow us to strengthen that provision of the air pollution prevention. And once this is adopted, that will give our fire chief or myself the authority. We're going to be coming into June and July when we will be experiencing these conditions. I know it doesn't look like it when you look outside right now, but we need to go ahead and strengthen on this particular ordinance so that we have it in place should we have favorable conditions for fires in the future.
And could you, because there's, looking at Facebook, there's some confusion about whether or not there is or is not a current ban. What is the status of that for McIntosh County?
As far as the state goes, they've rescinded that ban. Now, we also had put something in place using the clean air provision, and we can rescind that clean air provision. We'll probably be doing a special called meeting shortly, and we may want to go ahead and clarify that. That's been rescinded. So in place right now, there isn't. But again, you need to have the second reading so we can strengthen this ordinance for the future. I'm thinking.
Okay, I'm still a little confused on the answer.
Yeah, I am.
Right now, can I go burn something?
No. No.
Okay, then what do we need to do to change that?
The fire chief will make the decision based upon drought, and he meets with other emergency management personnel. And they've been meeting every other day, just about. And they have met since the state, since the governor lifted the ban. Our area still was below in rainfall, and so they've kept the ban in place. And that's been documented. I know that Wesley from the EMA and Daniel from the fire chief have been in contact with Ms. Russell at the newspaper, so they've continued to notify that it is still in place.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like that to be reviewed as quickly as possible, because I've had several people
Yeah, the-
questioning whether or not there's still a need, seeing that the governor removed it, as well as the frequent rain, and may even be raining now.
We're still under the provision we had in the clean air provision, and we will see about rescinding that shortly, but I still need the second reading.
Understood.
To strengthen that section for the future.
And to add, I spoke with Wesley yesterday, and we still have flare-ups in the county where illegal burning's created problems.
Okay.
We're not out of the drought conditions, despite what you might see outside right now. Thank goodness we have the rain.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we didn't get all the rain that was originally forecasted for the weekend. That's what they indicated yesterday in their meeting.
Understood.
Okay, are we
Yes.
still in public hearing for this?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll make a comment, can't wait, the Chamber of Commerce, I've been meeting with people from around the state, talking to the EMA department. The biggest indicator too, coming from some of our ecological partners, is the statements of the water table still being so low. So even though the ground may be wet, the water table is not back up where it needs to be sufficient to protect our area from wildfire. Nor are they feeling confident for most of our region, the southeast region, in the reserve of our firefighters in the event of another large event. They're still fighting the Brantley County fire a little bit, and several of the hotspot teams have left. So in the event of a major flare-up, we'd have the same delay that Brantley had in getting those trained wildfire firefighters coming back. So I've also talked with Wesley, and I agree that having this in place and being able to act quickly is important after seeing the struggle that the Brantley County had in getting the support and trained firefighters to come in. Not that our volunteer and our structural firefighters aren't incredible, but it's a different beast when you're fighting a wildfire. So I'm glad that the commission is getting this in place, that they can, base it not only on conditions, but on personnel that's available. It's definitely a county struggle.
Thanks, Cap.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. We will now conclude the public hearing for the burn ban. And we will now enter into a secondary public hearing. This is to consider the extension of a moratorium pertaining to certain activities on Sapelo Island. I'll read the public notice that we've been running. Notice of McIntosh County Planning and Zoning Commission and the McIntosh County Board of Commissioners for a public hearing regarding the extension of the current moratorium of rezonings, development permits, building permits, land disturbance permits, and subdivision plats on Sapelo Island. Today, being the regular scheduled called meeting for the McIntosh County Board of Commissioners, is to consider adopting an extension of the moratorium on the acceptance of applications for approval for rezoning requests, development permits, building permits, land disturbance permits, subdivision plats for Sapelo Island for a period of time not to exceed 90 days as we finalize the updated zoning code. The current moratorium is scheduled to expire on May 21st of 2026. So at this time, anyone wishing to add comment on the extension of the moratorium will begin the public hearing.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Josiah Watts. I am 1196 Walker Road, Sapelo Island. First, I just wanted to say, Commissioner Polk, it's good to see you, and I heard about the loss of your son. Just wanted to give you my condolences. I'm sure. For that. And so, I just wanted to say just a few words. I realize that the extension of the moratorium, if it is extended today, would almost put us at almost at a 3-year point in all of this from September of 2023. And one of the reasons that I'm getting up and speaking to is this an opportunity to really speak to everyone while you're all here. And I know that the SPLC litigation was, recently dismissed, which I don't agree with. But with that being said, I recognize that the moratorium is providing space for you all to be able to put forth an ordinance that will help to preserve and help to protect the community. I wanted the opportunity to say that, even though that litigation itself was dismissed, and that was something that I support the residents in, because I think that people are exhausted, they are tired. The ball is now, in your court, really. I want to say I think there's still opportunity, and I hope for this to still work with Southern Poverty Law Center, to still work with those residents as well, jointly. Because when we're thinking about this zoning, we're talking about preserving and protecting the community, the culture, preventing the displacement. We're talking about, a process that you're going to be creating, right? So we're not just talking about square footage, we're not just talking about the height structure, we're talking about the process, itself. And I guess, for me, there's a colleague that I work closely with, and we do some work in zoning in different areas. And one thing we talked about is, when it comes to just working with communities, there are 3 ways. You are either doing things to them, doing things for them, or doing things with them. And of course, I prefer the latter. That, we have a county commission that is working with the people, working with us. I think that, Commissioner Watson, as our representative, you've done a lot in reaching out to us and talking to people. But of course, you need the support of the commission to be able to find a resolution to all of this, so that we can get on with the work of having a county that is working together with us and that is supporting the community so that we can get the opportunity to really thrive. I feel like, I find it hard to believe that it's been, 3 years, and it makes me realize that I can't remember when we weren't fighting or in contention about, about our land. And I want to see a resolution to that. I think it would be important and significant to still work alongside SBLC, work alongside the residents. It would say that a judge didn't have to order you to do it. You did it because it was the right thing to do. And I just want to say this, it made me think about something that I just realized when years ago during, enslavement, generations back, Georgia was the first Darien in the 1739 anti-slavery petition. 18 Scottish settlers were opposed to slavery in the colonies. They said it was morally wrong, economically damaging, a scourge and a curse. Now in 1749, 10 years later, of course, this would be repealed and reversed, but I also think about the significance of that happening at that time. And it makes me think about the significance and the courage that it takes and took for the people who led the referendum, those residents, and also the, 8 residents, and one who passed, God rest his soul, that stood up on that litigation. And it just takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of energy for all of this. But the process, the procedures, the preservation, whether it's with the HBC, our relationship with SHPO, it's about all of those things. And I am still going to remain cautiously optimistic and hopeful that something will be put forth by all of you working jointly with the community and also with SPLC as well, that will do exactly that. And so I just wanted to take a few moments to say that, because some of you I don't, talk to. And this is an opportunity, I think, that I wanted to, take to, talk to everyone. And so I don't know what stage things are at. I know that we're in the middle of elections and things like that, but, I'm still hopeful that we can get to a resolution for this so that we can really start to begin working together. So instead of against one another. So,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
thanks.
Anyone else? We do have to leave it open for a few more minutes.
Right.
We have a date that this next 90 days will end.
Read out the first sentence that says met from May 21st on.
Yeah, this is extending it beyond May 21st.
So we have 90 days
Ending
for this
date
meeting.
sometime in August, 90 days.
Yeah, somewhere around the 21st, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that area of August.
Because some days, some months, you have 31 days, so sometimes.
The kind of weekend. Is it nine?
But we're gonna have to get something done. To be able to hit the June, we have to have something in a called meeting to make the June planning and zoning.
Yeah, I guess that's my next thing. Where do we move?
The draft of the new zoning.
Okay,
or
that
planning and zoning
concludes
board.
the time period allotted for the public hearing, the secondary one. Following our agenda, we have no old business listed. That will move us directly into new business. Item number 1 of new business is to consider Resolution 2026-8. This is adopting an ordinance for McIntosh County to temporarily limit outdoor burning when the fire chief determines that drought or other pertinent conditions are such that a ban is needed to protect the citizens of McIntosh County. Staff, would you like to add any additional notes?
During the hearing, I made those comments, and I stand by them, that with the forestry department council, we needed to strengthen the section of the air pollution ban we were using. So yes, stand by those earlier comments.
Okay. Commission, do we have any questions or concerns at this time? Hearing none, I'll call for action on item number 1.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-8, adopting an ordinance from McIntosh County to temporarily limit outdoor burning when the fire chief determines the drought and otherwise pertinent conditions are such that a ban is needed to protect the citizens of McIntosh County.
Okay, motion to approve by Commissioner Poole. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hope. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 2 is to consider Resolution 2026-9, extending and imposing an additional 90-day moratorium on the acceptance of building permit applications on Sapelo Island. This is an action item. I'll allow the county manager any additional staff notes.
The ban was about to expire on May 21st, extending it 90 days out from that puts us at August 19, 2026. I think that's ample time for us to be able to get with the zoning board and get a proposal forward and adopt it.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the commission at this time? Hearing none, I'll call for action on item number 2.
Make the motion that we approve the extension of the existing moratorium for an additional 90 days.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Watson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. Again, any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 3 is to consider Resolution 2026-10, approving and authorizing the execution by the county manager of all documents pertaining to the JIFA Hurricane Helene Drinking Water Grant/Loan. I'll allow the county manager to add staff notes.
Yes, we've applied for this. We've been promoted to the second round. At this point, it's just signing documents. I need your authorization to execute these documents. The nice thing about this Georgia Economic Finance loan is there is a low interest and there is also loan forgiveness on this. I think you may remember our water department clerk, water department head commenting about replacing a well out near Ulonia at the four-way, poor water quality. We'll be putting in a new well and tying it into that water tower out there. Give us better water quality, more pressure. Advise on going ahead and approve this so we can get the documents sent back to them.
Any questions or comments from the commission at this time? Hearing none, I'll call for action on item number 3.
Motion to approve Resolution 2026-10.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Hope. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Poole. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is to consider Resolution 2026-11, which would add ACCG 457 Roth option to the county retirement plan. I'll allow the county manager to add staff notes.
Yes, we recently had a visit from ACCG where they met with our employees to go over their various retirement options. Afterwards, I took some time to speak with the person and realized that a Roth 457 option was not available to us or has not been applied for. I would like to add that to our list of things. It will not cost the county additional money, but it's one more option for our employees. Those of you that were the employee appreciation lunch yesterday, I told them I was going to try to do things that would help with their retirement, improve their retirement, as well as some other things. This is a pretty good retention tool to help some of our employees. And again, it's at no cost to the county. There may be some additional work for Terrell Davis, the county clerk, in processing. Rather than a flat dollar amount, a percentage of their paycheck could go towards this. So we're working on adjusting the admin software so we can do that. But again, it's a very good option at, no cost to the county.
Any questions or concerns from commission at this time?
I applaud this addition for individuals working. I think it's a great option. I'm wondering who will be responsible for explaining to the employees the benefits of this option.
Yes, well, the rep and I.
Okay, great. So
There's a one pager or two that's you see
Yeah, I saw
behind you
that.
here, and we'll make sure that's available to all the employees.
Yeah.
It may be some of the older employees, whether it's
Yeah.
some of the newer employees that prefer this option rather than starting out early on.
For those employees that might be listening, I strongly encourage you to consider this option. It's a great way to build up retirement funds in the long run. I know oftentimes people, I want to spend my money now, but this is a great way. If you have delayed gratification. If you can delay and squirrel away a few dollars putting that Roth, it will benefit down the road for the reason that Sherelle will explain to you.
All right, anything additional? We'll call for action on item number 4.
I recommend approval of that the ACCG 457 Roth option be added to the county's retirement plan.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Watson. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to item number 5 is to consider a proclamation declaring June 15th through the 21st of 2026 Men's Health Week. Allow the county manager to add staff notes.
This is along the lines of a public service announcement. Some of these we actually put in the form of resolution. This was sent to us by the Men's Health Network out of Washington, D.C., and it's an opportunity for us to educate the public and declare this proclamation. That concludes my remarks.
Okay, any questions or comments from the commission at this time? Hearing none, we'll call for action on item number 5.
Make a motion to approve the proclamation declaring June 15th through 2026 week, Men's Health Week.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Poole. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 6 is to consider authorizing the county manager to sign the contract with Moonlight for the preparation of the 1095 forms. I'll allow the county manager to add staff notes.
This comes off of the Affordable Care Act. There was a couple of years where things got a little bit confusing on how to do this. We spoke with our health benefit advisor, and they said that this company would help us be able to get the paperwork filled out, submitted back, and I believe the cost is about $5,140. I'd recommend we sign this contract to clean this up. I think the following year, this requirement went away, so we're just finishing up one of the last years we needed to do this.
Okay. Any questions, comments from the commission at this time? I'll call for action on item number 6.
Make a motion to approve, authorize the county manager to sign the contract with Moonlight.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Gerald. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hope. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 7 is to consider a contract with GovWell for software and training for the Building and Zoning Department and authorizing the manager to sign all documents. County manager add staff notes.
Yes, I'll briefly start this, and I'll ask Brian Boone to get into the weeds a little bit. We have a need for some software. We were able to get favorable contract conditions where this would not be a budget amendment, or be a purchase. They'll stretch it out over a period of time. We recently had our building inspector retire from there. We'll be expecting to get a new employee in there. The timing of getting this training and assisting the building department with modernizing our opportunities for the public to interact with it. Brian, do you care to add a couple of details to what GovWell can do for your department and possibly others with integration?
Good morning. This is the culmination of 2 years of vetting software. So we did attempt to adopt municipal software before, and this would be a big deal for the county. It's not just for my department. As we move towards data governance standards, this will help across the board. So the modules that we're looking at are building and permits and inspection, planning and zoning, so handling our public hearings, code enforcement, business licenses, and public works. They have additional modules that we may want to look at in the future. Right now, we're handling all of this through pen and paper, as we've had for the last several decades. With the rate of development in this county, it's outpacing what staff can handle. We also have an issue with departments transferring data between each other, and there's also a lack of transparency. So it's difficult for us to keep track of the data produced by other departments. This will put all that in one place. The easiest example of that is you will be able to look at a parcel or an address or a building and see the entire history there. This will also help with open records requests as well. Importantly, this will help plug revenue leakage. So we will be able to make sure that we're properly assessing fees for permits and keep track of that data. I think most importantly, this will assist us in our goals to move towards next-gen 911. So the addresses for the data for parcels and for these structures will automatically be transmitted between these departments. Might not be so intuitive, but the moment someone starts constructing a house, they need to have access to 911. They're going to be working with electricity, they're going to be up on ladders, they're going to be using tools. So this will help us make sure that we can get those addresses to our public safety departments right away. GovWell is not the cheapest of the companies that we reviewed, but they are the companies that met our standards and allow us to work with the lean staff that I think we're going to have in the near future. Other than that, I'm just here to take the questions if you're having any.
There was some savings by us going ahead and not waiting until October to do this.
That's right. We were able to secure about almost a $20,000 discount. They understand that we're a small, growing community, and GovWell wanted to make that investment with us.
Is the subsequent years less expensive? Do you know whether or not there's a lot of money spent up front and subsequent years less? Do you know if that's the case here?
Correct. We did secure the majority of that discount because we don't have a lot of data to migrate, and the other companies, may or may not have been willing to do that. We don't have a lot of data that we're going to be migrating, so they helped us with that. So the following year, we won't incur those charges.
Okay, thank you.
And there's some training costs by that time. Is it continuing training or is it just the upfront training?
That's correct. We won't incur those charges, the training charges in the following years. And I think we'll be able to handle that training in-house.
That's right.
Any additional questions or comments from the commission at this time? Okay, thank you. We'll call for action on item number 7.
Make a motion to approve the contract with GovWell for software training and building and zoning department and authorize the county manager to sign all documents.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Poole. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 8 is to consider the fiscal year 2027, that needs to be struck. 2027 Atlantic Judicial Circuit Public Defender budget. I'll allow the county manager to add staff notes, I'm sorry.
Their fiscal year begins in July 1. This is why we do this every time of the year. Their costs are in line with what it was last year. There may have been a little downtick in some of the number of folks that they serve, but it's still pretty boilerplate, and we approve this every year.
Any questions or comments from the commission at this time? There is no change in operating expenses from the previous year, just as an additional note. I'll call for action on item number 8.
Recommend approval of the Atlanta Judicial Circuit Public Defender budget for FY 2026.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Watson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 9 is to consider authorizing the county manager to sign all documents engaging Robert Civil Engineering for Year 5 T-SPLOS and 2026 LMIG projects. Allow the county manager to add staff notes.
Rubber Civil Engineering is our professional services provider. They've been handling our roads. Year 5 SPLOS projects will include a sidewalk that they're currently working on for us. There are some items on that list. Over the course of the collection of funds for T-SPLOS, there were a couple of years where we maybe had to spend more because of cost of materials. So Year 5, we've been fortunate that we were able to get a second draw of LMIG out of the Department of Transportation. However, the safety striping grant, we were notified yesterday, we did not get that additional money. But I would like to go ahead and get Robert Civil Engineering working on this. There's actually some original plans for the sidewalk that will continue up from Bluen Hall to Kalamata that we're going to try to repurpose to keep these costs down. And again, I just brought this before you all so you're aware of what we're doing, and we need to move forward with this.
Okay. Any additional comments or questions from the commission at this time? Okay. I do just want to indicate to the public that this is conclusion of the 2019 T-SPLOS referendum. So that was a successful referendum for McIntosh County. It was broken down into 5 years since we had partnership from the city of Darien, and this will complete Year 5 projects once they are finalized.
COVID had pushed it back a year, actually. There was some difficulty, so it
Yes.
seems like it's out of sequence.
So call for action on item number 9.
Make a motion to approve county manager to sign all documents engaging Robert Civil Engineering of Year 5 T-SPLOS 2027 LMIG projects.
Okay. Motion to approve by Commissioner Poole. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hope. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 10 is to the agreement, this is for a contract between the Coastal Regional Commission and McIntosh County for GIS services. I will allow the county manager to add staff notes.
We are relying more and more on the CRC's GIS expertise when we're dealing with such things as the CAD system over at 911. Brian's office does quite a bit of this. I pulled up the contract from last year. It was $12,000 a quarter, and they've only gone up to $13,000 a quarter for $4,000 more, and as much as we're using them, I recommend we go ahead and approve this contract.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the commission at this time? Hearing none, I'll call for action on item number 10.
Recommend approval of the agreement with Coastal Regional Commission for GIS services.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Watson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Poole. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we are going to need an executive session, so this is a vote to enter into executive session.
Make a motion to enter into decision.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald to enter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Poole. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We do anticipate action following this, so if everyone will please leave at this time and take your personal belongings with you, we'll call you back in Okay, at this time, we will entertain a motion to exit executive session.
Motion to exit executive session.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald to exit. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Watson. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, following the executive session, we have a new action item, and that's to authorize the county manager to prepare a resolution for an intergovernmental agreement with the McIntosh County Industrial Development Authority for real estate and to establish a special called meeting for execution. I'll call for action on this item.
I'll make a motion to approve county manager producing the resolution and for the IGA to work with the IDA on a real estate matter.
Okay, motion to approve by Commissioner Poole. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Watson. Any additional discussion at this time? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That concludes our new business on the printed agenda before us, which will move us into commissioner reports. Commissioner Hope will begin with you.
No report.
Commissioner Watson,
No report.
Commissioner Gerald, Commissioner Poole.
I would just like to say with our deepest condolences, Henderson, Commissioner Hope, lost your son.
Thank you.
That concludes my report.
No chairman's report at this time. We'll move into the county manager's report.
I'll just be brief. We are finishing up the water lines out at Fort Barrington and hope to have that open very soon. We've finally completed everything with EPD and the water lines. And that I'll conclude.
Okay. Our county manager is absent at this time, so we will forego that report. There is no need for additional executive session. That leaves us adjourned with nothing else on our printed agenda.